Okay, I didn't get it completed today. I made a new wiring harness though. See, my confusion comes in down here is where the selector and the feeder motors get connected, and they feed up through my wiring harness up to here. And what I was initially doing is I was going to connect both the feeder and the selector using both the JSTs in the back. I was going to make this one be the selector, and I was going to make that be the feeder. So if you take a look, you see this is the selector. So for the now, I guess I'm going to plug it on the back side into the JST, which is feeding right there. The other JST on the back of the housing, I had connected, well, I have the Z feeding down to the relay board, and then I had coming from the relay board going down to the purple connector right there, which is the back JST. I was going to hook that to the feeder of the SmuFF. But I guess now I've switched things so that coming off the SmuFF is the selector. I'm going to plug that in right back behind here. And now this is the feeder coming off of the SmuFF. So my understanding is this needs to go to the relay board, and then that purple connector, the back JST there, that's going to then feed to the printer's control board, for the extruder over on the printer side. Sorry, this is shitty quality. I don't know how else to show everything else. I mean, I've got my end stops in. This little pin here is how I'm pulling 5 volts for the end stops from the buck converter. Eventually, I'm going to tie the feather wing into this 5 volts as well. The 5 volts is coming from the buck converter right there, which I've piggybacked its power source from the main power right there, and I provide power using this to a Meanwell power supply using 24 volts. These wires here are my 5 connections, which feed from the feather wing down here, and these here are going to end up connecting, up here on the control board. This red, white, and black is my NeoPixels. Once again, going back down through the harness, and it's all tying in, both end stops, and NeoPixels are all tied in there. So hopefully I'm along the right lines of thinking. I'm not sure. My head is mush from this project. But the other question I'm confused on is when I look at this chart here, I'm not sure exactly which ones are NC and which are NO. I believe the COM is the ones on the right that I have as white, and I believe NC is going to be where I have the red, and I'm thinking NO is the empty spots, which is what's going to connect up my feeder motor. Am I thinking correctly?